Executive Director Show. My name is Brandy and this is Jeff. Our purpose here is to give you the motivation, inspiration, techniques, skills, and daily activities needed for you to build a solid, profitable business. And right now we are going through John Maxwell's 21 indisputable qualities of a leader. And today we are on quality number 5, which is competence. If you build it, they will come. So Jeff is John C. Maxwell certified, so he will actually be teaching this lesson for us today. So with that, Jeff, I will have you take this over.
So competence, guys. Understanding what you're doing and what you're in. Wow, this is way cool. They're actually changing. Facebook just made an update, by the way.
I see that.
It just said, do you want to schedule your audience? I was like, well, yeah, I've been talking about that forever. So competence, it says, if you build it, they will come. I don't think it's necessarily if you build it. Competence goes way beyond words. It's a leader's ability to say it, plan it, do it. It's the understanding of what you're doing and what you're trying to get done. So many times I'll ask people inside of direct sales, inside of network marketing, what exactly they're trying to accomplish. They're like, well, I'm trying to get some people in. I'm trying to move some product. I'm trying. They're trying everything. I said, well, what's been happening? They're like, well, I can't get anything done. A lot of times it's the competence to understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So it says fleshing it out. It says we admire people who display high competence. Whether they are precision craftsmen, world-class athletes, successful business leaders, but the truth is that you don't have to be a Jordan, a Bill Gates, a Steve Jobs to actually excel and do well. It says if you want to cultivate the quality, here's what you need to know. Number 1, show up every day. You're only going to understand what's going on, and it's only going to click for you when you actually show up. So many people are, fair weather, fans of what they do. And fair weather meaning, if the weather's fair, if the weather's good, if it's sunny out, I'll come. If it's raining, I can't make it. If it's snowing, I definitely can't make it. If there's anything else that kind of gets in your way, a pebble in your shoe, a grain of sand flies in the air, then all of a sudden, you don't have that same commitment level. Now, why is that? The majority of the time, from what I've seen people do, and the reason why, Dave's here, Will's here, Dave Barker, what's happening, sir? Dave Sapp jumped on here. There's a lot of Daves. Dave Slack. 3 Daves. Awesome. So, in a lot of cases, people are fair weather. Fair weather are what they do, and their commitment's fair weather. Therefore, they never get the understanding at a deeper level. Competence is like understanding everything that's going on at the same time. It's like awareness. 2, it says keep improving. So this is you keep adding to what you're doing. You keep understanding more and more. Somebody said, building a decent-sized business, at least to 6 figures, it's almost like there's 30 locks that you have to unlock. One of those like turn locks, and you just keep turning, and you keep, working on things, and eventually these locks start opening one at a time. Dave Peters is here, new level. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So you have to keep improving if you want to get ahead. Also, follow through with excellence. You're going to have to follow through and follow up. But it's understanding at a deeper level. Competence, especially inside of a business, is understanding a couple things. You have to understand the company you're in. What is the company's philosophy? What is their background? How do they view things? That's number 1. The second thing you're going to have to understand is the actual physical need in the marketplace. What is the need? Not just what are you trying to sell, but what is the actual need? Like, where does this come? Where does your product or your service come in handy? Inside of what we do here at Legal Shield, because this show is not generic. It is specific to the company we're in. But inside of Legal Shield, you have to have a comprehension of the company and the story, how it was started, why it was started. If you don't understand how it was started and why it was started, it's harder to convey the message. Then you're just one of these other bullshit salespeople who are just pushing product on people. That's not what we do, or that's not what I do. That's probably the reason I get the result I get, is I'm not just trying to push the product on somebody. I'm actually trying to get them to understand why the company was started. If you can get them to understand why the company was started, and then how the company was started and how hard it was, it makes people understand and they comprehend what's going on at a deeper level. The need in the marketplace. the comprehension of, I use credit because credit's a really easy one for me. That's where I see the membership. Everybody's going to see the membership differently. Honestly, every person kind of has a different kind of injustice that they went through. What your kind of job is to find out, I can list all the injustices. I can list age. I can list race. I can list sex. I've seen a lot of that happen to myself and or my friends, the injustice that happens out there. I can list all those, but the one that I see, that affected more people. See, sometimes you talk about what affects you, but it's affecting a small amount. I wouldn't bring up certain things with certain people because I know it's not affecting a large group. I certainly wouldn't talk about it in a large group because I know it's only probably going to affect a small group of people. So this is like comprehension and awareness of what's going on if you're trying to market anything, not just, network marketing, but if you're trying to market anything at all. You want to understand that need. Then you want to understand the products themselves. You want to be able to, competence of the comprehension of the products. What do they do? What is their limitation? And you have to learn how to answer questions because here's what people want. Everybody wants a guarantee. Everybody's like, well, I want to know for sure if I sign up for this, that this lawyer will do this. I don't know what the hell the lawyer's going to do. Neither do you. You can't know what the lawyer's going to do because the lawyer can do whatever the lawyer wants to do. There's something called pro bono. I found this out because I have friends that are attorneys, but typically attorneys have to basically give out so many hours of service for free every year as part of their continuing education. At least that's what I was told. That's what I was told. So they can do whatever they want to do. I've watched people sign up for this and piss an attorney off, and the attorney's like, I'm going to do this for free just because I want to go get them. I can't share that in the plan because that's not something that's normal. It's not something that's written. I can only show the plan that's there. And my comprehension is, and my answer to all questions when somebody wants a guarantee is, what makes more sense? Trying to figure it out yourself, pay $25, or go hire a regular attorney at $200 or $150 or $300 an hour to go try to solve this problem. Does it make sense for $25 to get your answer? Somebody keeps talking to me. I said, it sounds to me like you want a guarantee that everything's going to work out. Because most of the time when people are dealing with legal issues, it's really the worry in the background of what's going to happen after the decision, and people are trying to plan out their whole life. I'm like, go attack it head on and go find out. Here's the problem. Most people spend majority of their time worrying about shit that never happens. Never happens. I'm like, go get the answer first. Quit guessing. This is another thing that I find very usual with people who, like Dave said, are negative, with people who have low incomes, with people who maybe grew up in certain places with certain people, is they just worry about all this stuff that could happen, and then they finally get their answer, and none of what they're thinking is even what they needed to be worrying about or needed to be figuring out. They don't know how it works to begin with. So this is just food for thought. Go get the answer. I tell people, go get the answer. How do you get the answer? You pay the $25, you pick up the phone, and you find out. I don't guarantee anything. I said, look, there are no promises. This is life. In most cases, especially when somebody wants a guarantee, it's usually because they screwed up and they know they screwed up, not because, the system's after them. They know they screwed up and they're trying to get out of it, and they want a guarantee for you because, that's what people do. They're trying to save their own ass. That's typical, American way of life. I'm sure it's like that in the rest of the world too. But that's just our product. It's weird. Comprehension of the comp plan. Oh my gosh, we could go on forever about this in the industry and inside of Legal Shield. But most people cannot clearly explain how to go from one level to another. And if you can't clearly explain how to go from one level to another, you're going to have a hard time sharing that with other people, recruiting other people. So what I did is I drew a chart. And that made it really easy. I actually sent out a cheat sheet on this. But I was like, you get in. You can do it by personal or you can do it by team. Let me show you the two ways. If you do it by personal, everybody starts out as associate. If you want to go to senior associate, you're going to need $60 in volume in one recruit. Well, that's if you did it with team. You're going to need $90 in volume if you do it all by yourself. All by yourself, $60 in volume. Or $90, sorry. $90 in volume if it's all by yourself. How do you get to manager? From senior to manager, you need $400 in volume. Congratulations, Dave Peters. Dave Peters figured out how to do that. He comprehended what it took, and he did it through team, but you can do it either way. From $400, how do you get to senior manager? $1,350. You have to get to $1,350 to be a senior manager inside of our comp plan. You can do that all by yourself. It's just volume. From $1,350, senior manager, the next level is director. Director is $2,700. At $2,700, you're at the highest permanent paid position in our company. Now, could you go up from there? Yeah, you can get all the bonus levels. If you do, I want to say it's $650 or $700. The information's on my phone, which is what I'm actually talking on, so it's going to be hard to pull that up. Nancy's here. But you can go all the way up the comp plan like that. I have it memorized. Now, why do I have it memorized? Because I wrote it down like 25 times. I drew it out. If you write it down and then draw it out, and write it down and draw it out, and write it down and draw it out, I started memorizing it. This is the reason we want you to show up to the open house on a weekly basis for comprehension. You're going to comprehend what's going on at a deeper level, and you're going to be able to talk and regurgitate what we're talking about. If you can't, watch this, if you can't draw out the comp plan to somebody else, and you can't explain the comp plan to somebody else, what happens when you can't get a hold of somebody like me, like corporate, and somebody's like, you know, I do this, but I just don't understand the money. And you're like, oh, well, gosh, if you could just come Thursday, and, you know, somebody will be there to explain. Why would I, think about this, why would I as a leader want to sign up with you if you don't even take the time to understand what you're in? I know that may be harsh for some of you, but why would I do that? You know, I mean, this isn't getting a law degree. This isn't nuclear physics. This isn't engineering. This isn't comprehending something that's so impossible. I mean, it's like 6 levels, right? 6 levels and some numbers. I mean, this is like, honestly, if we went, I'm guessing right around 4th grade. If we went to 4th grade, I could get 4th graders to memorize this in a day. In a day. And I can even have them draw out the team scenarios. I'd be like, what happens if Johnny signs up 3 people and does 400 in volume? So he's like, manager. And meanwhile, I have a whole group of adults going, I don't have any idea. You know, I got taxes to pay, and oh my gosh, I got to let the dog out, and I can't remember. You know what? Do you understand what I mean? When you understand and you know, I said, what does it take to get to director? And people are like, I have no idea. How long have you been in the company? 16 years. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but think about the comprehension of who's going to follow who. So this is one of the 4 things I always say, you know, people are looking for. When you sit down and you actually share the program with people, here's what people are looking for. Number 1, they're looking for somebody who's clear. Clarity. Can you clearly get the message out to them? 2, after clarity, is basically the one that's short. Concise. Concise. Can you get the message out in a short enough period of time? So clear, concise, confidence. You're only going to be confident. You're only going to be confident about something that you're what? That you're competent in. It's very hard to be clear in something you're not competent in. It's very hard to be concise about something you're not competent in. It's very hard to be overly. My brain just went blank. What's the third one?
Clear, concise.
Confident. If I hear it from somebody else, I can remember it. See, I can't remember these, so think about how clear I am.
His allergies are also at all-time high right now, too,
I woke up
so
at like
you'll just have to
6. I
excuse
woke up
us.
at 8. I woke up at 9:30. I woke up at 10. I was trying to sleep through this, but my sinuses are just going crazy. Ibuprofen and something else to try to get the swelling down. It's unbelievable. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. And then the last thing is the team and the talent, you know, being able to explain, hey guys, there's some people that we work with that I really want to introduce you to. Here's why they saw it. Here's why they did it. Last, accomplish more than is expected. Do more than is expected. And here's the thing, you want to do more than is expected at work. You want to do more than is expected at home. You want to do, if you want a relationship to last, you have to do more than expected, not just the minimum. You're like, I love these people. Like, I can't believe I'm getting divorced. I've I've stayed with this person for, whatever, 12 years, 20 years. So you did the minimum to stay with them, but you didn't do any of the other stuff that was necessary. I mean, I like people who come to me with these scenarios and they're like, I stayed, and they justify it. I stayed with them. I was like, well, I don't think staying with them kind of is one of the things, but there's probably 25 other things that are just as important. Did you do any of those? No, but just staying with, so people justify, if you take apart the word justify equals just a lie. And sometimes it can be the other person. Are they comprehending what's going on? 5, inspire others. How do you inspire others with your knowledge and competence? You're going through the program. Jerry's here. What's happening, sir? I'll be talking to you later. Not because you're in trouble, just because I need to talk to you. Where do you stand when it comes to getting the job done? Do you attack everything? Do you do it with basically all that energy and perform at the highest level possible? Or is average good enough? Is average good enough? You're just going to do it the way, I just need to get it done. The problem is most people approach their business like they approach their work. Show up late, try to leave early, try to do as little as possible, try to get away with as much as possible, and then they wonder why their business is failing. Why they can't get anybody in. Well, I don't understand. This is what I do at work. I always show up late at work. I always don't know what's going on at work. I always leave early at work. This is another reason why you're having a problem pulling people out of work to actually see what you do, because all of those things add up. Your character of who you are adds up, and people notice this, and it's very hard to get people to understand just because you're excited about something that all of a sudden everything's going to be different. Change your actions first and watch everything else fall in line. Changing your actions means you show up early, you do more than expected, you help everybody around you regardless, you leave last. I love what Simon Sinek says in his book, you're the last to eat. He's like, leaders eat last, and the reason leaders eat last is they make sure everybody got there. They make sure everything's in place. They make sure all the food is available. They make sure all the plates are in order. They make sure everybody's gotten something. They make sure my mom would be on me. My mom's an English teacher, by the way. Like, my stepmom is an English, was an English major, and my mom is a elementary ed teacher. My dad's a college professor, so they hopefully aren't watching this and hearing my gotten speech. They're like, hey, love the gotten speech. I'll hear that at like Thanksgiving. My parents are teachers, so I like to point out what I'm doing wrong a lot. It says, when you think about people who are competent, you're really considering 3 types of people. Those who can see needs, those who can see what needs to happen. There are certain people who have an awareness that see what needs to get done. They understand what it is, how it is, when it is, and what needs to happen. It says everyone wants a guarantee, but no one wants a guarantee no one wants to guarantee it for themselves. 2, those who can make it happen. There's some people who see it, and there are some people who can make it happen, and then there are those that wonder what the hell happened. I mean, let's face it, they're a third of the people. So a third of the people don't see it at all. They don't comprehend. There's nothing you can do to make them comprehend. It's like when I go out and I actually share the program with people. I basically figured out a way to share the opportunity with people so people could see it and get it. But there's not a negative with it. There's not a negative that comes along with it. Like, I'm going to text a bunch of business cards today of people that I know I need to get a hold of that are here in the Indianapolis area that I have some kind of connection with. Hey, we met at the MyBoard meeting. Hey, we met at a networking event. Hey, we met at so-and-so, just checking in, saying hi, what's going on. Sometimes I forget that the first step is actually connecting with people before you actually ask for something. Because sometimes I'm like, hey, come to this networking event. And then, oh, great, we've been to like 3,000 networking events. So now it's connect first. How are you? What's going on? What's going on with life? Just that little bit changes everything. Then I'm going to say, hey, I think this may be a good fit for you. I don't know. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're trying to put together. Should I send an invite? Asking people, should you send the invite? And then actually doing the invite. I thought of this yesterday because so many times I'll just text a bunch of business cards and invite them out and forget to connect with them and ask them. I'm just the marketer in me wants to go too fast, and you have to slow down to speed up. So comprehending that is good. But where was I going with that? People who don't get it. A third of people just don't get it. There's nothing you can do. I've sat down with them, I've shown them, but I figured out a way to do it in a way where I don't get all the negative. I don't get all the negative. I don't get all the no's. I don't get all the I hate this. I don't get all the. I mean, you're bound to run into it eventually. I do have people who do come back at me like that, but it's rare, like really rare. And I don't get all of the weird excuses and or what do I want to say? The negative feedback from people because of the way that I open and introduce. Look, you know, I just need a huge favor. I need 15 minutes. I want to tell you about what we're working on. So if you run into the right person, you can refer us. If it's not for you, great. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to push you to do this. It probably isn't for you. And when I've actually had people who go, "Whoa, are you trying to get me into this?" I was like, "You? No." I mean, look at the way that I even say it to them. You? No. Why would I think? I make them tell me, I was like, why would I think you could do this? And all of a sudden, then they feel bad. They're like, why doesn't he think I could do it? You know, I mean, he doesn't want to do it. But he's like, why doesn't he think I could do it? I was like, no. And then they start like, well, you know, I know a lot of people and this, that, and the other thing. I just thought you try to force, because so many people try to force me. I was like, nah, I don't force people to do it. I figured you wouldn't. You know, I'm just looking for a certain kind of person. And I didn't even think you... Like, well, what kind of person are you looking? You know, they get all defensive. What kind of person are you looking for? I was like, what kind of person are you? It's funny when you throw it back at them how they defend themselves. But I don't like getting that negative. So the second third of people, they get it, they hear it, and these are the people that always have the excuses. They see it, but they always have. I mean, it's fear. It's usually fear. ADHD something, you know, they're like, oh yeah, you know, I've been in 6 of these, and you know, I keep signing up, and I just don't seem to do it. Why don't you seem to do it? Well, you know, because I've got kids, and because I've got this, and then the excuses come. We have to understand I have a dog. We have to understand I have kids, because nobody on the planet has a dog or kids, you know. Well, you have to understand I have housework, because nobody lives inside of a house in America. You know, I'm just talking about our business. But it's hysterical how people will come up, well, you know, I had to have the car worked on, because nobody's ever had to have their car worked on. Well, you know, my husband or my wife, you know, they're not, you know, totally supportive. Like everybody's husband and wife is totally supportive. I mean, I will say that this is a little weird. We're strange. But, like, that's never happened. I was like, so you think you're so unique that because you work, have kids, live in a house, and have a dog, you're the only person on the planet that has that, so therefore it doesn't work for you? I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's funny how people add stuff up in their mind of why they can't, and they're like, this is my reason. I just shake my head. I was like, that's your reason.
And actually, I have something to add about that. I was just watching something from Grant Cardone saying that your comfort level will physically come up with excuses to keep you in your comfort level.
Yeah.
Your comfort zone. So as soon as you feel that anxiety or like the feeling like, I don't think I want to do it, you need to just force yourself to go do it anyway. Because the only way for you to grow is to make yourself uncomfortable. So that's literally your insecurities and your comfort zone trying to keep you where you're supposed to, where it wants you to be.
Your basic natural human instinct, right?
Yep.
So that's, David Bird always talks about that. Your natural human instinct wants to pull you back into a position where everything stays the same. Because you know what's there. So with me, Dave and I talked about this damaging relationship relying on, attraction only. Dave tried the whole, I'm just going to attract everybody to me. The problem is that works only if you've succeeded on the other side. I've rarely to never seen anyone be able to use attraction marketing alone to be able to attract everybody to their business. It always, always, always takes out in the field first, building yourself to credibility, building yourself to influence, building yourself to knowledge, building yourself to competency, and then you can turn around and do some attraction marketing stuff because you have the proof. You have the proof that you know what you're doing. You have the volume, you have the proof, you have the income, you're on stage. Then all of a sudden it's amazing how much easier attraction marketing actually kicks in and works. How are we doing on time? So about 4 minutes. Let me wrap this chapter up and then we'll go from there. It says, bring it home. He says, get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. You know, stay focused. Jump in with both feet. Don't put your toe in it. Redefine the standard. Redefine the standard of what competency means. So to me, that's kind of what we're doing with our program is redefining the standard. Most people's standard in network marketing is get really good at sending people videos. That's what you need. You need to get really good at that and really good at following up. And I'm like, that's horseshit. You know, that's not going to work. For me, I mean, if that was working, see, they've been using that technique for how many years? And I see people getting less results. I see people working harder. I saw something the other day, I think Dave and I were talking about this. That somebody's like, this week I'm going to do 800 contacts. I was like, where the hell are 800 contacts coming from? I'm going to contact like 40 people and show 20 and get 10. And they're going to contact 800 people, mad dash follow up 24/7 on the phone. Everybody around them hates them because they're not talking to anybody. And then they're going to get like 1 out of 800. I was like, how is that working smart or good? So I'm redefining the standard and saying everybody really needs to learn how to do a presentation, be a real person. Be a real person and talk to people. It says, I love that you make yourself uncomfortable to grow. Know why your company started, how to start it, how to rank advance. Yeah, I mean, you got to know what's going on in your company. Because that's what real leadership is it's an understanding, it's a competency of what's actually happening. And that's how you're able to draw people in based on what you know what you're doing. So, I think there's one more here. Raising the standard, and last, it says, find a way to improve every day. Find a way to improve. What are you doing to improve yourself every single day? Like, we're going through this to understand, and a deeper level of understanding to basically help ourselves, you know, move up, move forward. But what can you understand about your company? What can you understand about your business? Are you online watching videos of the best presenters in your company? That's one of the things I did. I pulled up. I was like, oh, that's $1 million earner. I should watch him present. Oh, that's $1 million earner. I should watch him present. Oh, that's another $1 million earner. I should watch him present. There's a $100,000 earner. I wonder if they have anything good to say. Oh, wow, I got something there too. I'm not a $100,000 earner yet. So I need to learn from the $100,000 earners. There's a quarter of, you know, and that's how I walked through when I started learning. I even learned stuff from people who weren't in my company because I watched them present and I watched certain things they would say at the beginning. I was like, man, that's really smart. A lot of times people will mention things like Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. One gentleman who spoke said, you know, you have to understand the difference between the rich, the poor, you know, the rich, the poor. And Andrew, understand mastering the comp plan. It doesn't mean you have to know every damn scenario and all the residual, but here's the main thing. Here's the main thing about the comp plan. For those of you who are watching, this is the main point about the comp plan. People's entry point, meaning where people make a decision to join, is when they understand how to get their money back. Mm-hmm. That's where people join. They understand what it takes to get their money back. And if people see how to get their money back and or get everything for free on a regular basis, that's why there's so many companies out there going, well, you just need 3 or you just need 4 or 5 is free, 4 is free, 3 is free. That's why those companies do that, is so that way people understand, because they've done the study and the numbers, that they know when people see how to get it for free, that they'll join. So that's one of the key entry points to what you're doing is you have to at least get to the point you say, look, if you signed up 3 family memberships, 3. Not only would you get paid, not only would you promote, but you'd also pay for the entry. I mean, that would cover everything. That's why they set it up like that. The first 3 membership sales inside of Legal Shield would pay for everything. In fact, I think even at the $35 level, 3 would put you, if it doesn't put you on the dot, it puts you really, really close. Because obviously the $50 membership, which is a family plan, versus the $35 membership, which is less expensive, doesn't pay out quite as much, but it's close. And you still promote. So with that being said, that is a wrap on today. That was competence. Tomorrow we're going over courage. That's chapter 6 already. Wow.
Yeah, chapter 6.
Can't believe we're already that far into it. So the daily takeaway, Andrew. Daily takeaway is understand the comp plan, know how to get your money back, and that's what we do every day. Is you just one more thing. So we're gonna jump off here and we're gonna get to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We appreciate you so much for watching and joining. Hope you get something out of this every day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.